Hello and welcome to Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast starring me, Tyrantrum.
Tyrantrum.
I think I've done Tyrantrum before, and I think I've done it better than
that looks pretty messy on paper and how you executed it as well.
AKA Tanner Greenring. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Aegis Slosh.
Oh, Aegis Slosh.
Yeah.
Slosh was one of my nicknames in college, so there you go.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Remember that time we were working together and we were on like babynamerator.com, and they had a feature on babynamerator.com where they would tell you all the potential, like, nasty nicknames your baby would grow up with.
Yeah.
And one of them for Josh was Butternut Josh.
Yeah, that's the worst they could do with Butternut Josh?
That's not an insult.
Sounds nice.
Whimsical. A.K.A. Joshua Fjellstead. And I am joined, as always, for the Elite Four, with the exception of last season.
But that was Tony's fault, as we've covered.
By Tony Flame.
Talonflame,
a.k.a. Tony Smith. Welcome back.
Welcome, Tony.
Thank you. I had my money on Ferritone, but I like Tony Flame.
Say that again. Who?
I had my money on Ferritone, but, Tony, I like Tony Flame even more, probably.
Ferritone.
Like Ferrothorn.
Ferrothorn. Oh, yeah. Okay. Josh, would you have gotten Ferrothorn?
That took me a second, too. Tony, wouldn't you rather be a Talonflame than a Ferrothorn?
Oh, so that's the thing. What you would rather be and what you actually are, very different.
I don't have a problem with Tyrantrum, though.
No.
You got a problem with Aegislash, Josh?
No.
You will when we battle later. Welcome to Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast starring me, Tanner Greenring, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Josh. We have Anthony Smith on the show this week. We are screaming towards the end of this season and this game. Technically, we beat the game this week.
It's done.
Credits rolled for all three of us, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But of course, we'll have to come back next week to chase down some waterfalls. I think the end game in this game is very robust. You ready for that, Joshy?
Yeah, I don't want to break it up. I think when we did 2 episodes of chasing waterfalls, too many.
Big one.
We just need one big one.
One big one. Yeah.
We just got to do it live and just get it done.
We got a lot of little guys to hunt down. We got a lot of, secret missions to go and tackle.
Looker is coming back.
There's a whole new city in the south of Kalos that we're going to be introduced to at some point.
Although not quite as extreme as it was in Black and White when all of Eastern Unova was just revealed.
Yeah. But that's not where we're starting, Joshua. We're starting, Antony, welcome. We're starting in Snowbell City. We've just taken on Wolfric. And Tony, I would love to hear about your character and your journey through the Kalos region so far.
Thank you so much for teeing me up.
Yeah.
So my journey, I went a little bit low concept this time. My character's name is Airbnb Victim.
Okay.
Okay.
She stayed at Diantha's Airbnb, and it didn't go very well for her. And she has complaints, and she needs to go directly to the Pokemon champion to be able to lodge them. But she's sort of forgetful, like a little bit of an Amelia Bedelia when it comes to quite literally everything.
Yeah.
So she's named her Pokemon after her various complaints about the Airbnb, just to jog her memory.
Yeah. It's like Memento, the tattoos all over Memento's body.
Yeah, but
you seen Memento?
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't remember.
He's got tattoos all over his body to remind him of all the clues to solve the murder of his wife. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and so she surely tattoos her complaints about the Airbnb on the heads of the Pokemon too.
On the Pokemon bodies.
Yeah.
Oh, she absolutely does. And for the record, I remember every second of Memento. It was a Memento joke.
Oh, funny.
God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus, it blew right past us.
That was high concept. Wow.
Thank you.
These concepts are flying high and low.
Yeah, we were still looking low.
Oh my God.
So we will learn the names of some of your Pokemon as we go, and we will certainly get the full rundown in level check later. But what about Airbnb Victim's journey through Kalos? Any highlights? Any lowlights? Any other bad Airbnb stays?
Yeah, where else did she have to stay along this long journey?
I mean, really just the one. Like, it was such a bad experience, and it was really the first time in her life that she realized what her name actually meant. Because she'd had very, very good luck with Airbnbs till that point. But now that she had this, like, god-awful luck, where just, like, nothing went right. Like that's really put her on a journey. In general, Kalos, I think that it is it's kind of unbelievable. It's kind of my favorite since Gold, Silver.
Wow.
This was, I know that might be too
Let's
high
not
praise.
get crazy.
I mean, look, like, I guess that there's fondness for Ruby Sapphire. I certainly was extremely, extremely fond of Diamond Pearl. That holds a spot for me. But, like, there's something about how genuinely breathtaking this game is visually from start to finish. I don't think that one has looked better since it. Like, there are so many moments in this game where I just sort of, like, went, wow.
Yeah.
And like that's conspicuous. Like Black and White is like the most hideous game I've ever played. And so it was nice to see like beautiful colors, like Pokemon designed from people that weren't on the edge of a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, the new 3D models look kind of great across the board. Like it's really like salvaged some real barfy Pokemon too.
Yeah, there's some fresh light on some of these Mon, and also say I think the set pieces.
Yeah, really good set pieces.
The best they have. I feel like from what I remember, I liked the detail on the tile sets in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But I do agree, it looks great. It looks great.
And there's something to be said, too, about the fact that it looks finished. One of my big criticisms of, like, let's say Sword and Shield, which is technically, like, the most, it's out of the Switch. It's, like, it's big, it's beautiful, it feels open world. Like, it really looks like an unfinished game in so many different parts of it. But, like, this just feels so robust and complete, and like every single thing that's thrown in is kind of made to like make you go wow, from like a gym leader puzzle to like just a random route on the way to a palace that's supposed to be the Palace of Versailles. Like it's incredible.
Yeah, even the little signs that swing down, even them naming each route beyond just like Route 4.
That was thoughtful.
Like, what a nice touch. Beautiful. My worst Airbnb experience was in Los Angeles. And it was the middle of like August, and it was like 100+ degrees in Los Angeles. And our Airbnb host had locked their thermostat behind like a plexiglass locked box. So we couldn't adjust the temperature, which they had set to 80.
Oh my God.
And when I sent them a message on Airbnb to say, where are the towels? They said, we don't keep towels in the house. You need to pack your own. It said that in the listing.
Whoa.
And I said, okay. I didn't read that far down, I guess. And then they kept texting me because I was there on work for a major media company that Josh and I used to work for.
Uh-huh.
And she was very into that and really wanted me to help her and her husband's band make it big. So I left all of this in a 4-star review. Keep in mind, I left a 4-star review, and I said, like, if you're looking for a place to crash in Hollywood, this place is great, but, like, don't expect, like, the Ritz. And she sent me back, like, a 10-paragraph message saying, like, fuck you, how dare you leave me a 4-star review, like, arguing with every point I made in my review.
Wow.
And I never looked back. Now I'm just a hotel man.
I've been driven to, well, one thing I would also say is like, hey lady, throw in some towels and like, you know, maybe we can make your band go viral.
Yeah, right?
Like,
you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
No towels is like, get out of the Airbnb business.
Pack your own, she
like,
said.
What the fuck?
We ask our guests to pack their own.
I've been driven away from Airbnbs aside from like group things at this point. First several, I think 3. One was a Verbo. Verbo was awful.
Well,
but
Verbo?
That's your fault.
Yeah, but I mean, you two know the most iconic one that's also funny, so it's not as like dark as the other two situations. But at my wedding, when Bobby and I were getting married upstate New York, Hudson Valley, beautiful, so many different old inns and bed and breakfasts you could stay
we found
at.
A beautiful inn. Yeah.
Mine was so nice. Mine couldn't have been nicer.
So nice.
Bobby and I had thought that it would be romantic and fun to get a big yurt that was out in the middle of the woods. And we also wanted to use it because it had a big like property around it. And we wanted to like host the like after wedding brunch the next day there.
Cool.
We got to this thing where like the lift could like not even find it. It's out in the middle of the woods. There's no like reliable Wi-Fi. There's no normal cell phone coverage, and it's a yurt that's like dilapidated, so it's all like,
why do they even sell like
the
market
window
it?
flaps are open, there's bugs everywhere, the mattress was like wet, and
Gross, Josh.
the interior, like they were like, oh, it's got indoor plumbing, but then like the bathtub was all full of stuff, so you couldn't actually use it. It's one of those like compost toilets. The only shower's on the outside. There's one mirror that's like 2 feet tall. We were like, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't even glamping, and we're not camping people.
Well, and it was your wedding day too.
Right. We were gonna have to
Is
get
the other thing to keep in mind.
prepared there, and so we did get money back because we were able to like cite all these things that were like wrong in the listing, but we had to then scramble to like find the one room left at some random hotel because, of course, the main hotel that we'd recommended to people had closed the week before.
Burned down.
Yeah, to collect some of that insurance money.
No, they just couldn't pay the rent or property tax or whatever. But yeah, so that was one more nail in the coffin. But that one was at least funny. My mom got us a yurt Christmas ornament that year, and I was like, oh, so now
Funny.
That's really funny.
this is a joke for the rest of my life.
I will never forget on the day of your wedding, the literal day of your wedding, receiving a text from you that was like, hey, is there any more room at your hotel for me and Bobby? And the answer was simply no. But I just thought, oh my God, there's got to be some tragic story behind that. And I can't wait to learn all about it for the next few years of my life.
Yeah. It was just dumb. We let everybody else get everything that was beautiful and great, and we got stuck with the chaff.
Can I very, very just the quickest possible story about my like worst Airbnb?
When were you the Airbnb victim?
Yeah.
I think that the consumer is always the Airbnb victim.
Yeah. The system is rigged against
Yeah,
you.
you see that they now banned like parties at all, and then it's like, well, what do you call 8 people in a house? Is that a party? Like, it's such a trap now. Like, just to stay at a hotel. They always have towels.
Yeah.
Me and my 7 gay friends want to listen to Regina Spektor Better acoustic version and use towels as loud as we want and as wet as we want to be.
Exactly.
And that's the fucking goal. No, but I'm gonna keep because like I don't. I feel in danger telling this story, so I'm.
That's why the cops are already outside.
Yeah.
The ambulance preemptively showed up for me. But to save them on gas. But I stayed at this house in the mountains that was like a friend of a friend of a friend's house, and got inside, and the house immediately felt like a little bit too small on the inside. Like on the outside it looked quite massive, and it looked like regular house size. On the inside it felt really, really tight, and I also had the feeling that we were being watched. And in the morning our stuff was in like slightly different positions. Anyway, I go exploring through the house, find this room at the top of the staircase, open it up, and the room is just filled with dolls on rocking chairs, dolls in the window, and there's like a little like box cut into the wall behind which one has to assume is a crawl space, and there's an unmade bed on the not even a bed, a mattress on the floor with like a pillow and like a sheet sort of crumpled to the side. And it's the most like, we throw around phrases like my fight or flight kicked in, but my fight or flight really kicked in, and I just sort of walked downstairs and like had a meltdown.
Did they list any of that in the listing? The doll room or the crawl space or?
So we were originally going to get a listing, but like I think I was annoying my friends because I think I remember it exactly. I was annoying my friends, and they're like, we have to get you out of the city this weekend. You're a heartbroken sad sack. It was early 2016. And so we like went to this place that was like a friend of a friend of a friend's, threw them some cash or something. The person that was closer to the relationship did. And it was just horrifying.
And then it was a haunted manor.
From the outside, it was.
Yeah, sounds like
it was a haunted condo on the inside.
Have you seen that movie, The Boy?
No.
Dude, no one's seen that movie.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it several times. Anyway, the main premise is this girl gets hired to be a babysitter for a doll named Brahms.
Ew.
And that the parents think is like a real kid, and she has to act like it's a real kid. And as she's taking care of it, things start to move around the house, and her stuff moves around, and she hears things like scraping around, and she thinks the doll is alive. But it turns out that Brahms is actually a man who lives in the crawl spaces and walls of the house who is their son, but like is feral or something like that.
I see.
And I think that's probably what happened here, right? Like there was probably someone crawling around those walls, right?
I have a roommate, so I can really relate to that story.
Yeah, and check out The Boy too. The second Boy. It's also very good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant The Boy as well. I was like, yeah, we are.
Any other notable highlights from your trip through Kalos, or should we move on to Route 21?
I would say that little route in between that first town that you get to, and then the palace at Versailles looking thing is just that tree-lined route is one of the most breathtaking things I've
like
ever.
Route 6. I think
It's Route 6, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You remember the number. Could you do that for any other game?
No, because that one, that was like, I know that I sort of like ranted about how the camera in Lumio City is like overdone and it's like a nightmare to navigate, but they do it really well on that Parfum Palace route with all the giant classic like tree-lined like European like countryside whatever like walkway. Yeah, I remember that as Route 6 specifically. I was like, that's a hell of a route. That's where they did the camera right. And then also like the Tower of Mastery reveal when it like slowly shows up and it's like, that at the end of the spit or whatever.
Sandbar, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, what a game, huh?
Hell of a game.
What a game.
Last week, Joshua, you and I took on Wolfric and just absolutely creamed him.
Jim collapsed.
So now we're moving on. We're sort of like led to where Victory Road begins, which is just a couple of routes over. Once again, this game maintains its sort of like streakiness with an absolute brutal route last time. Hours and hours. Routes and routes.
Endless.
2 supervillain layers.
Endless.
And then this week it's 3 routes in Victory Road.
Yeah, this week you're just left with like, well, there's nowhere else to go except like whatever the western route is out of Snowbell City.
Which is Route 21, full of ace trainers and veterans with some pretty cool Pokemon. You see like a Tyrantrum out here. You see a Whale Lord with its giant sprite. But really, there's nothing out here. There's one thing. A guy taught one of my dragon Pokemon a pretty cool move.
There's like a hidden boulder that you need to push away and then like maneuver it down a long path to get that.
Yeah, there's a whole boulder puzzle sequence here. That's it.
Well, I'll talk about, especially while Tony's here, because I feel like you don't get it, Tanner, that the veteran is a trainer banger. And I want to be vindicated.
Okay. Which one? Veteran Trisha or Veteran Lewis?
Both, man. I don't discriminate.
Okay.
They've lost the thing that you complained about in the past where the dude had the like shady kind of like trench coat that I thought was still cool.
The veterans have been on such a journey.
Yeah, because every region has their own variant of veteran, which I think is slowly revealing itself. Like these are very like maybe late 30s. They're pretty chic looking. Veteran Trisha here with the like trendy red scarf and prominent Jane Fonda style collar, a nice bob, and then we've got veteran Louis with the popped collar, the sleek jacket, the perfectly maintained 5 o'clock shadow, clean buzz cut.
Yeah, he's really trimmed it down.
He's got a non-aggressive, non-threatening confidence to him.
He's wearing like a bodysuit. Have you noticed that? He's in sort of like a skin-tight bodysuit, and he's got like a jacket and boots on over it.
He's got
He
nothing
looks
to hide.
good.
Nothing to hide.
I remember getting to him and being like, Josh and I are going to talk about how hot this man is later.
Ooh, yeah. Louis we had to talk about.
He looks so good. His color story with like the emerald trench coat over like the gray shirt.
Inside of his jacket has the Pokeball holders. It's chic.
If he wanted to buy all of my nuggets at an unfavorable exchange rate, I would simply have to sell them. Every single person in this game is as absolutely smoking hot as possible.
It's a hot region, yeah.
Ugh, look how far they go downhill next gen, though. Sun and Moon.
Next gen is where they really go off the rails.
Yeah, they're terrible.
That's the one you were complaining about, Tanner, when you were looking ahead. And
Yeah.
Gen 7, it's a little rough.
Yeah, but in this gen, everyone looks like they could be in the Elite Four of like any other generation. Like any random trainer is so just like wildly, like beautifully designed.
Those barons, the chefs, ooh.
Yeah.
The veterans and all of the ace trainers that you meet along this route are like truly next level.
One of the biggest improvements that they did with this game is that everybody gets the like nicely illustrated, like in battle sprite.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes up for whatever, even if you don't love their overworld sprite, you get to see them up close with the illustration.
So we saw some handsome trainers on Route 21, but that's it. There's really nothing going on
That's
here.
all I wrote.
There's a direct route on Route 21, which takes you right towards Route 22, or you can like wander around the sort of back roads a little bit and pick up some items and do some training, but there's not even that many like good items in this area.
Yeah.
Well, let's go there next, because Route 22 is our next destination. This is the Detourner Way. Detourner Way. I don't speak French. Josh, you want to take a run at it? You've been practicing all season.
Detourner.
Detourner
Way. Detourner.
Gosh,
Way.
Listen to us. A couple of French experts here.
I think I haven't really improved too much from the beginning of the season. Just more confident.
One thing I will mention about Route 22 that really grabbed me, that really struck me, is you have to use waterfall to crawl up one of the many waterfalls in this area. And at the top, there's a woman called Ace Trainer Hilda, and she has Tanner's sweetie.
Oh, Tanny's sweetie.
And it's Sharpedo, who looks so good with the 3D sprite.
Oh, cool.
I mean, Sharpedo already looked good.
Yeah, I thought Sharpedo is already a hit.
But Sharpedo looks great with the 3D sprite. What a good sprite this one has.
What do we think about Mega Sharpedo?
Interesting.
I've never seen it in game, but the illustration is fun.
It's kind of cool. It feels like one of those ones where they just sort of made the base illustration more like Garchomp and Lucario.
Yeah. They put a bunch of, it's like, can Sharpedo have all these tribal tattoos? Is that fine?
Do you remember when Corn Nuts decided that it was an extreme snack?
Yeah, hell yeah. It still is.
Oh, the like logo redesign. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Corn Nuts with like the least amount of salt and like the least amount of like flavor, and it was like, this is gonna fucking kick you in the fucking nuts. Like, no, like that's literally a lot of these mega Pokemon. It's just like an exclamation mark for it. Yeah.
If you eat this in class, people will notice and they'll be like, what smells like corn?
Yeah.
You're gonna let your whole class know that you didn't get a proper breakfast.
One time I was in France, actually, and I was eating an egg salad sandwich because it's the only thing I knew how to order.
Oh my God.
And I was in an office space, and all my coworkers came back from their lunch, and they all immediately walked through the door and started going, oof, oof. And I was like, sorry, that's my oof that you're smelling. I had lots of oof.
Literally, my biggest fear, because it happened to me once, is of being the one to stink up an office with
It happened to me almost every day of my life.
That is a terrifying prospect. I've avoided it.
Chamber of Emptiness is here.
The chamber of undesigned emptiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also another puzzle here. There's rock puzzles in these two routes if you want to go hunting for some TMs, because there's some useful TMs out here.
Yeah.
And then there's a few like Pokemon you can catch, but they're all terrible. This is like one of the worst routes. It's like all Bunnelbees and Dunsparces and Bidoofs. So they're like, you're surely done catching Pokemon by now, right? You're headed to the Elite Four.
Yeah, like you're not going to switch it up now, are you?
We just have to fill this with trash.
Well, but I just want to say, before we get to Victory Road, I do just want to say in the other route, in Route 21, is one of Tony's top tutorinos.
Oh, okay. Is this a new segment? Do we need new music?
Tony's what?
Tony's Top Tutorino. It's a segment that has always existed, but that I've never done on this podcast.
Oh, okay. Hidden segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sort of an Easter egg that subscribers to Tony's Twitter know all about.
I'm more familiar with the Tony Teeny.
If you search the phrase Tony's Top Tutorino on my Twitter and you don't find anything, are you spelling it right?
Yeah,
did
I
I
have
already
to know how to spell it.
them because I knew that you would. Like, you know.
Top tutorino.
But Scyther.
Scyther, yes. And there's a super Scyther, right? Or a mega Scyther, right?
Is there a mega Scyther?
Oh, no, there's a mega Pinsir. How come Pinsir got one, but not Scyther? That's stupid.
Because Pinsir needed something, man. I mean, I'm going to defend that choice. Pinsir's got nothing to live for.
Scyther also has Scizor.
Yeah, I mean, you can't improve on perfection with that line.
That's true.
Also, like in the Pokemon anime, where like in the video games, it's like red version got Scyther, blue version got Pinsir. In the anime, it's Scyther versus Electabuzz, so Pinsir's not even in that stand-up at all.
Yeah.
Pinsir, complete bullshit Pokemon. But like, glad he has a Mega this time around.
Yeah, I think he deserves it, to be honest.
And then we're on our way to Victory Road.
Oh boy.
Josh, what was your approach to Victory Road? Because there's a few different ways in.
What was my way in?
Did you come in from the south, from the north, or did you come in after this break?
That was well done.
Classic Victory Road. We make our way up
Oh, yeah.
the sort of long entryway, fighting a couple trainers along the way. It's not like Victory Roads of yore, where you're stopped at checkpoints along the way to make sure you have all the badges. Someone just at the front's like, yeah, you can come in, you have all 8 badges.
It does have a nice reveal, though, when you walk down the hall, and then it's got, like, lit up different colored badges on the walls.
Oh, yeah, that is nice.
They're kind of like obelisks. It was good.
Yeah, there's sort of this big, beautiful entry building, and then you're thrown into, like, the cave proper that separates the wheat from the chaff.
And there's a lot of cave to go around. There's like, was it Gen 3 where we get a taste of this, of like going in and out of the mountain?
Yeah.
And now it's just like different tile sets, mountains, like caves, groves.
How many HMs do you need, do you think, without looking?
3.
I mean, it's at least surf, waterfall, strength.
And Rock Smash, if you
Rock
need it,
Smash.
if you want, which is not really an HM, but may as well be.
Was cut? I feel like there was weirdly a couple of cut
Yeah, I think you could do
situations
cuts,
out
too.
here, which is like bonus items. It's like cut should be retired by now.
Yeah.
It's barely iconic. It's like they really want Cut to be something, and it just is not.
It's just not going to
I just think they should abolish the HM moves entirely. Like, there's got to be a better storytelling way to do that.
we're close. Close to it.
We got to be getting pretty close to that breakthrough.
Yeah.
This Victory Road is a lot like the Victory Roads of previous generations. There's no real boulder, no strength puzzles in this one. And you don't have to block any caves, but you can kind of push boulders around to create shortcuts for yourself to get in and out for when you want to run back and heal, because it's pretty tough.
Yeah, and there's only one trainer that heals you, and the only way to make it easy to access that trainer is that you have to push boulders around and to get all the items.
Yep.
So I did do it,
Yeah, of course I did it.
but you don't have to.
There's also a few more Pokemon you can catch in here, a few dragons. Maybe that elusive Licky Tongue you've been looking for the entire game. Here's where you get it. You found it. It's in Victory Road.
Who's been looking for that?
I don't know, bug catchers? Someone, presumably.
Okay.
Some big, huge Licky Tongue fan. Or maybe Licky fan.
Oh,
People love Licky Tongue.
sickos.
And there's some good stuff in here. Some good gear. You can get some good TMs like Psyshock.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some good held items like the Dragon Fang. But, it's mostly just a Victory Road.
I liked the feel of it. Nothing, now that I'm like looking back on it, I'm like, I don't have a lot of specific comments, but like, it felt good. It was like the right amount of robust. The trainers are pretty varied.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when they do not just make it like rock types and fucking like Golbats or whatever. There's a lot of different Mon to fight, both in and outside of the caves and from the trainers.
They went back to their roots a little bit. I think the two like supervillain bases in this game and this Victory Road felt very classic Pokemon to me in a very nice way. I liked it.
Yeah, it was efficient. It was like so many Victory Roads feel like weirdly expansive and like convoluted, and I feel like it dilutes like the joy of like how simple the puzzles are, and also the fact that like this is supposed to be this like fun thing you do before the Elite Four, and like not this total chore standing between you and like a really, really fun gauntlet of trainer fights. This was on the fun side.
Same.
I like that you got to see more veterans. I like that you were sort of left wondering like, when was this war? Like what
Yeah.
side are we on?
Are you okay?
Yeah, no, just am I on? Are we the baddies? But like, no complaints about this victory road. It was nice to see a Skarmory.
Speaking of sides thing, I like wrote this down because I was so upset with like Callum and what's the other one? Serena. That you have to fight your rival one more time here.
Yeah, it made me glad that they gave us those boulder shortcuts because I had to run back to the Poke Center in Snowbell Village and grab my...
get cleaned up before the battle.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you had to go get your
No, you're right. I had to get cleaned up.
Pan
I had to
monkeys.
take the trash off my team and put my little pan boys on
What
there.
level are they now?
Up there. I've sort of lost track, but I brought them out for this battle with Serena, and they made pretty quick work of her.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even worth recounting, especially when before the battle, Calum reflects on Lysander and Team Flair's mission and tries to, I guess, reconcile his role in taking them down.
Yep.
He goes into some both sides bullshit. He's like, if both sides have something valid to say, it's best to meet halfway. And like, something to say?
Light and centrist.
I can't believe after all this time you haven't learned a damn thing, man. This kind of idiot centrist who wishes he tried to negotiate with insurrectionists and strike a deal with Team Flare. Like, oh, you want to kill 99% of people in Pokemon? Well, how about just 75%?
Team Flare's gone. We already annihilated them.
Yeah, I guess he feels guilty or some crap, even though the other side's quote-unquote valid thing to say was to kill him.
It's not even a concern anymore.
Like, come on, man.
They're destroyed.
I just crushed him and then tossed him down one of those open pits and pushed the boulder down on him.
Wow, Jesus.
It's the only way to deal with a centrist.
Didn't even give me that option. Yeah, you make your way up Victory Road, and then you're at Pokemon League. We've made it.
We made it.
Beautiful castle. Old castle. The top of the hill. One of the nicer looking Pokemon Leagues. I also really like the setup inside. It's sort of set up like a
Great Hall.
Yeah, in fact, it's called the Great Hall.
Oh, it is the Great Hall. Yeah.
It's a little like Black and White, where you can do it in whatever order you want because you go into this Great Hall and there's 5 doors off of it, and you can go take them on in whatever order you want. But the actual rooms themselves, the chambers, are pretty fun. Although they're mostly just like big square box
They're like
rooms.
light or like fire shows.
Yeah.
Or like water, whatever.
Can I just say that a cathedral with like fire inside of it hits real different in a post Notre Dame world?
Yeah.
Yeah, Malva was...
Mulva?
I started with
Dolores?
with Malva.
Me too.
What?
Yeah, Mulva. It's just a Seinfeld joke. When he can't remember that girl's name and she says it, well, it rhymes with a female body part. And
Malva.
he's like, Mulva?
Mulva's in this game from Seinfeld, and she's
Mulva.
got the worst little sunglasses on. She's like Will Smith in Wild Wild West.
She's a hack. I was not impressed with her.
She looks like the first sim that comes over when you throw a party. Like, it's
Yeah! Oh my god.
it's really bad design.
That terrible, like, wannabe hipster sim, yeah.
She's in the Blazing Chamber. She's the fire type Elite Four member. She's got some pretty poor talent.
She's got a Torkoal, a Chandelure, a Talonflame, and Joshy Sweetie.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Who's that?
Pyroar female. The like lioness where she's got a long flowing like sassy mane.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a little ponytail.
I know Pyroar probably kind of a basic sweetie choice, but
I think it's also the second time this season you've made Pyro your sweet.
no, I held back from making Lit Leo one and male Pyroar. I danced around it.
Yeah.
But it's time,
Yeah.
At this point I was enticed by the female one. Looks good.
Absolutely no issues with Malva,
No.
except her Talonflame was pretty quick, and someone knew Stone Edge. Someone knew Stone Edge, which is always a pain in the ass. Oh, Torkoal.
Torkoal.
Yeah, Torkoal was the hardest one in that group, I thought.
Yeah, for sure.
Best coverage.
I mean, in general, this Elite Four was a bit of a cakewalk, but none easier than Miss Malva to best.
Yeah.
Let's get what I assume is everyone's second least favorite out of the way, which is Seabold in the Flood Chamber, the water type Elite Four member.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely to second least favorite, but all I could think was hearing Seabold talk was like, man, they ran out of French people by the Elite Four.
So they had to.
You get the Palace of Versailles so early, and then at the end of this game, you're like, what are some other French things that we can just put in? Like the chef from Emily in Paris, of course. Like let's put him in this game too. And very yeah.
Yeah, and just slap a suit on this guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
His chamber is not very. He's in the Flood Chamber. There are several times where they make you like wade through like waist. They make your character like wade through waist deep water. Like as you're walking into the Great Hall, there's just like a wading pool out front, and the only way to get in is to walk through water, and that's the case in this flooded chamber too.
They're all gonna get trench foot.
Yeah, I know, right?
Another classically French thing.
Seabold has a Clawitzer, which looks incredible.
I love the Clawitzer, and if I could have gotten it, I would have run one of those.
And he's got a Gyarados, and he's got a Starmie, and he's got Tanner's You Make Me Barf Pokemon of the Week, Barbaracle.
Yeah, there's just no way around it.
Barbaracle. God, what a bad name, too.
Barbaracle.
Binacle was already a You Make Me Barf, and I guess like maybe a lot of you would have just assumed that Barbaracle was sort of lumped in with that, but I really wanted to set it aside and draw some attention to it because it's just terrible looking.
I don't think we could let them get away with this.
It's 2 rocks with worms in it, and the worms have claws, and some of the claws have phases.
But it's also a guy.
It's also a
guy.
He's a man. He's standing.
He's both humanoid and 2 worms. It's a nightmare.
He's considered body type 11.
It's more like a 0 to me.
He's lying. I'm considered body type 11. Like, that is not body type 11.
When they evolve, 2 Binacle multiply into 7.
Ugh.
So it fights with the power of 7 Binacle. That's just 7 times worse.
Yeah, that stinks.
Honestly, I don't know how you could live with yourself if you run one of these.
It's got a hand for a head. Does that bother anyone?
And apparently, its legs and hands have minds of their own.
No.
They can move independently, and they, quote, usually follow the head's orders. So it's got fucking hands and legs that are just like...
doing their own thing. Oh, yeah. Have you seen that?
Doing whatever?
Have you seen the movie Idle Hands?
Yeah,
No.
love that movie.
That one I also have not seen still.
Oh, beautiful film. Check it out.
Beautiful film. You should watch it with tissues because you will cry.
It's a story of a man whose hand becomes possessed by the devil, and he's like a college student, and he needs to like figure out how to like continue to be a college student while his hand is being evil.
Wow.
Pretty fun.
It's really good horror comedy.
Let's kick it over to our guest, Tony. Who was your next destination? Vikstrom
Oh,
in the Ironworks chamber or Drosna in the Dragonmark chamber?
it was Miss Vikstrom herself. She appears to be a soldier from what can only be described as the Jirachi War. It is,
Yeah, this is like when they've run out of the French stereotypes again, and they're like,
yeah.
some night, just put a suit of armor in this fucking guy, slap it on.
What if Sailor Moon were a Nazi? Like it's very like it's both fascist and extremely gay. But you know what? Not the wildest combination these days.
The little illustration of Vikstrom looks exactly like the sort of like latently or implied to be gay like court minister in Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Oh, yeah.
This same haughty look, like this is a face in need of a punch.
Vikstrom has a Klefki level 63, Probopass level 63, yuck.
Oh.
Sizor level 63, and Aegislash 65.
So it could be a lot worse. I'd boot a quarter of this team.
Who's oh yeah, Probopass.
Probopass, obviously.
Of course. Probopass has no business on this team. Rocksteel just can't, I don't think, really compare to any of these other 3.
They're all harder to kill. Well, Sizor's got the quad weakness to fire, but Aegislash was the only one that got a one-hit KO off of me.
Oh wow!
Because I was
with what?
I was
with
just
what move? With what move?
I was running
Tell me what move.
I was running Delphox across this whole team, and then Aegis Slash I used flamethrower on it, and then it goes down to 1 hit point, and then it does the thing where it like does blade form or whatever.
Oh yeah.
When it goes into attack mode.
Yep.
It's like when the X-Wings wings go out, you know he's down for business.
Yeah. So it survived and then it just lashed out. What I guess is it King Shield?
King Shield is not an offensive move. King Shield just prevents all damage to your team for a round.
What did it do?
Was it Shadow Claw? Because Shadow Claw is super effective.
Yeah, it must have been Shadow Claw. Because then its attack was raised and it's using a super effective move. So I was shook.
Which leaves us with Drozna, my favorite of the Elite Four, in the Dragon Mark chamber. The chamber looks awesome. A big dragon head opens up and then like incense burns kind of quietly around you. And she's got these, I don't know if they're earrings or like a little scarf made out of bones.
Yeah.
But she's got like tusks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dragon one always is cool.
She looks cool, and she's got some pretty fun Pokemon too. She's got Dragalge.
Yeah. Druddigon, Altaria.
And then Noivern, who I hate to say it for a bat Pokemon, but looks pretty great.
I love the Noivern design.
Looks pretty cool. What's it come from? Noibat?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a single evolution.
It's only flying dragon, and like I think you get Noibats in the caves on Victory Road. And I was like, if I really had the ambition, I would raise one of these.
Yeah, pretty fun.
This is a great design.
I might disagree a little bit with how I love Noivern or Noivern or whatever it's called, but like I see you get to Drazda and she's like, she's the dragon type, and you're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so cool. It's a dragon type Elite Four. We haven't got one of those in a while. And what comes out first, but this like ghost of a greyhound, pathetic dragon, Dragalga. I don't think that's a cool Pokemon. I think it's really nasty. I think you expect this giant roaring dragon you haven't seen yet, and instead you get something that you like aren't. You think it's like best racing days are behind it. Like,
yeah, Dragalge sucks. We've sort of talked about that a little bit because Josh has one.
Yeah,
I'm
running
it, and he's in love with it.
I'm still sticking with it.
Really?
I mean, there's no way it's like a top tier mon. I think that in defense of its design, it's that the Skrelp live out their lives like hoping that one day they get enough experience. They live in the like kelp underwater and whatever. And so it adapts when it finally evolves that it just looks even more like its environment, and then they just live there and then they strike their prey. And I just think it for what it
That's why you're the lore master this season, man.
I think, yeah.
You're completely enchanted by
how it interacts with its environment makes it cool. I don't love the design. I just think it's kind of like a cool concept.
It's a cool concept, but again, we'll say, imagine it's like I'm the dragon lady, and here comes this nasty thing, and it uses sludge bomb, and that's how she starts things off. It's a nasty little bait and switch.
I agree. It's bad branding.
3 of its dragon Pokemon aren't even dragons. One's a seahorse, one's a bird, and one's a bat.
She should open with Druddigon or Noivern. Like, she should open it up with like something very dragony.
Yeah,
I agree. Maybe she's senile in her old age. She's literally just this like old woman that's like happy that you came to visit.
She has tusks. She's tough.
After you beat her, she's like, "Oh, okay, bye, love you."
She looks like something from Monster Hunter.
Good job.
With the Elite Four behind us, we have the champion, who honestly at this point of the game, I had even forgotten who it was. I was like, I'm going to be awfully surprised when I go in there and see who the champion was. And I was. It was Diantha.
Well, we had never heard of this woman before, have we?
We bumped into her once. Or we bumped into her a couple times.
Well, she didn't make an impression.
She was like buds with Lysander and Sycamore. She was like hanging out at... Do you remember she was hanging out at Lysander Cafe and he was like trying to convince her to like join Team Flare?
Give him the 5 mil.
Yeah.
Sure.
But she doesn't. She goes back to the Victory Road or the Grand Hall, the Great Hall, and posts up in there as the champion. And she's got kind of a cool team.
It's
and
a
honestly,
cool team.
It's not too far from Josh's team. There's a Halucha bringing things up in the front.
Yeah.
There's a Tyrantrum. Auroras, Gorgeist, Gudra, which Josh loves, Tony. Isn't that gross? And Gardevoir.
Gudra's cool.
It's covered in goo, Tony.
Yeah, but
it's dripping goo.
There are lots of nice things.
I got to put up a poll about whether the bug catchers think Gudra is sweetie or barf. Editor's note, again here from Future Josh. I ran the poll, and it turns out that 77%, an overwhelming majority of bug catchers, join me in also just thinking that Gudra is a big old slimy sweetie, and we love it.
Oh, total sweetie.
Yes, it's a sweetie.
Look at the official art. Tony, look at the art. It's dripping mucus from its entire body.
But it's like a cuddly dragon.
Yeah, she's this beautiful, she showed up and she's like, I'm here, I'm confident, I real this is gonna be my year, but something's clearly wrong and it endears her to us.
Definitely.
She's covered in goo. She's not supposed to be.
I don't like the
She
gooey
doesn't
Pokemon.
know.
I don't like the gooey ones. All right? So sue me.
Yeah, that's true. You're consistent at least, you know?
But here's the thing. She's right in the middle of the spectrum between like really, really sweetie and like complete goo. Like we haven't had something that's just a little bit goo before.
Yeah, just a little goo.
Yeah, we have. It's called Gloom. Also has the word goo in its
But
name.
that's like slobbery. And
Yeah,
like,
but it's drool. It's so different. I mean,
Ugh.
and it stinks for miles.
the theme of Diantha's team is like Brontosaurus or lesbian, and Gudra's both. Like,
This seems like such an oversight. How does she not have Diancie? They must have programmed it already because it was an event Pokemon. Her name's Diantha. She's in the Radiant Chamber.
Yeah.
Everything is glowing. There's gems and shit. Give her Diancie, the like carbink princess.
Why does she have Hawlucha? She should have a Diancie instead of a Hawlucha.
Princess Diancie.
Yeah, Princess Diancie.
Her top Pokemon is 68 Gardevoir, so once again, she was pretty easy for us to get
Yeah,
through.
I think I was at like 76 or something by now.
Yeah, me too. And then you head into the Hall of Fame, and your Pokemon are seared
Oh,
into
whoa, wait a second. Tony. Now we do have a big battle left in the game, and then we have our own big battles to settle. But now that we're at Diantha, Tony, tell us how Airbnb victim addressed her grievances to Diantha in Level Check.
Level check.
So you could kick us off. These will be our teams that presumably were who we brought into the Elite Four.
Yep.
But then also who we'll battle with later.
Well, up to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Is this your way of not having to choose?
No, I had a lot of good Pokemon, and I built 2 teams, and I thought I'd go into the Elite Four with one official team, and then I built a second team that I thought, we'll just see if these 2 want to fuck around with this
It's
one.
got a couple of teams laying around.
I kind of really want to fuck around with it, but that's on Josh to decide.
Do I take the risk of not knowing what it is, or do I take what I know and make sure that I crush you?
I don't think you can.
But then we might not never know what that team is.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
We'll see. All right, Tony, who's on? Or sorry, what are your grievances?
yeah.
Thank you. So my grievances are as follows. Slow Wi-Fi. That's a level 76 Delphox.
That's a classic one, yeah.
Yeah, classic one. Weird smell. That's a level 73 Blastoise. We've got Saw a Bug. That's level 70 Butterfree.
Oh yeah. My other really bad one was a big bug experience.
Seeing a bug on vacation, there's nothing worse.
So many.
I've got Dusty. That's a level 75 Tyrantrum. Gay Area. That's a level 73 Snorlax. She's a homophobe Airbnb victim.
Oh, it was the area she was staying in was too gay.
Yeah, too gay. And the Airbnb didn't say it. It said close to all the museums, and she was supposed to figure it out from that.
Yeah.
And this one is probably the biggest one for her, considering her life. We've got no Corkscrew, and that's a level 75 Go-Go.
Go-Go, hell yeah. What a beaut.
Oh wow.
That was one of the other things that Airbnb host in LA and I got in a fight about is I asked her if she had a bottle opener, and she said no, and also asked that I not throw out any bottles in her recycling, any beer bottles in her recycling.
What? How do
And
you...
that's why she doesn't keep it around.
Well-
She said she doesn't like the smell of the beer in the garbage can, and she asked me not to throw any beer bottles. She was like, just take them down to the like public trash can at the end of the road.
This is something that should be vetted out by Airbnb, is like, this woman just should not have a fucking Airbnb.
And then she got mad at me for giving her a 4-star review.
Yeah, that sounds like a 4-star experience.
Giving her a 1.
I know. What a team, Tony. We'll have to raise up your levels a little bit to catch up to Josh and I.
And you crushed Diantha, so the grievances were addressed successfully, it appears.
Thank you.
Well, and we should say quickly, too, that there is one last little set piece and one last little battle, which is over the credits. You have to fight AZ.
Yeah, you can't just zone out like usual.
He's only got 3 Pokemon. He's got Torkoal, Golurk, and Sigilyph, who are all level 60.
Yeah, and...
He's not even on the same level as Diantha.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's so outrageous is, like, it just seems like an obvious oversight to, like, not give him more levels, where it's like, you can expect that we gained levels in the battle with the champion, and he only has 3 Pokemon, so, like, just make him 70. Just make him 70. That's all I ask.
Or make them so much more pathetic. Like, make them, like, really, really, really low levels, and this is, like, the last...
You feel bad.
That would be
Yeah.
clever as well, yeah.
I think that's the move, because, like, just him coming out and being like, now let's fight, made me realize how little I understand about what Team Flare was up to.
Right. I do like that the Pokemon are at least like kind of vaguely ancient themed, like Sigilyph, like are guardians of ancient cities. And then as we've talked about, Golurks are like created thousands of years ago and they're like made by people. And then Torkoal, I don't know, just looks old. I don't think that there's anything to that.
I just looked up their Pokedex entries. I guess they like dig through tunnels and live in, I don't know. I get they're old. They live inside mountains.
Yeah, that's clever at least, but then you crush him, and then that somehow is what he needed to be free from sorrow.
And his girlfriend descends from heaven.
Yeah, you watch a wild cutscene of Floette ascending from the heavens, also an immortal Floette, apparently.
So they're reconnected. A tear falls from his eyes, and then credits roll. For real this time.
And they do whatever they have to do.
Yeah, the premise of this game is kind of like you can choose the complete wrong answer with the trolley problem, but as long as you learn your lesson in the end, that's okay.
Yeah.
Josh, you want to go next, or do you want me to?
Oh, I'll go.
Okay.
Joan of Arceus, who has her final band of Merry Mon.
You've been very consistent this season. You've had a lot of these guys since the very beginning.
She's a loyal commander. I'm not going to just cast aside any given Pokemon, but maybe one this week.
Neither would Lovemaker 69. That's why he built 2 whole teams.
He's very open-minded in the bedroom, and it's a California king in there, if not a couple, apparently.
Oh, Big Sur King. Even bigger.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
Is he single?
He's sort of married to the lifestyle, you know?
Aww.
The pickup artist lifestyle.
So Joan of Arceus is running around with John II, of course, Delphox, level 81.
Mm-hmm.
Renault, Venusaur, level 80. Saint Michael, Dragalge, level 81. Lahir, Heliolisk, level 80. The Bishop, of course, Halucha, level 81. And then Aurorus, Saint Catherine, finally had to ascend and be replaced.
Oh, no.
Didn't make it on the battlefield.
Oh, no. Okay. So you had to train up a whole new Mon.
I trained a new Mon, a little Mon, Jean d'Alun, Togekiss, level 80.
Tony Kiss.
Tony Kiss.
Aww, I love Togekiss.
Thought it would be a fun reveal for the Tony Kiss episode, and
you finally got your little fairy Pokemon.
I got a fairy type, and I had to import it from my Omega Ruby, my old file from 2015.
Oh, are there no Togepi's in this?
No.
Wow.
So I had to like hatch an egg over there and then trade it.
Fun. That's a fun thing to do.
Raised it from level 1
up to 80. Not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Cafe La got a lot of your...
Oh,
I guess they gave you a lot of money this week.
I'm majority owner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to just buy my way in.
Lovemaker69 loves making love, and he liked to do it with the Elite Four this week. It was like eyes wide shut in that whole place.
Oh, yeah.
His team is Casey Malamar, level 83. Still so much fun. What a fun little Pokemon. You know what I realized this week about Malamar?
I'm glad Malamar made it.
Malamar's ability is this thing called Contrary. If this Pokemon has a stat change that raises or lowers its level, it will do the opposite. So he's got this move called Superpower, and when you use Superpower, it lowers your attack and defense by 1. But for Malamar, it raises its attack and defense by 1.
Oh,
so,
sick.
Scary.
not too bad. Fun little Pokemon. Kickjard, Lucario, level 82, has literally been on my team since like Route 3.
Yeah, you won't kick Chard out of bed. You won't.
No, they tried to make me, and I kicked that other Kickjard out of bed.
Yeah.
Makeout Champ, Go-Goat, level 81. Nicholas Dunn, Gengar, level 82. Alexa Carroll, Ampharos, level 81. And Uncle Duck, the second, Sylveon, level 83.
And do you have all of the corresponding ites, the Mega Stones, for all of these, like Ampharos site? Because I have that one.
I do for the 3 that are on my team here, yeah.
All right.
But in my experience, you can only activate one of them.
Even on Pokemon Showdown.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure you only activate one.
I think it will probably still do that, but
I'm going to have to make some pretty big decisions then.
Scream Mayor Cheat, obviously.
All right.
If you get to use it multiple times.
Should we head over to Pokemon Battle and do some battling?
I think it's a good idea.
All right. As always, Josh and I will battle first. I'm giving bug catchers, as I've been hinting to the whole time.
Very subtly.
I do have another whole team that is all also in their lower 80s. So if you guys want to take on the Lovemaker 69 Secret Society, you can, or if you can just take on their, his full elite squad. It's really up to you. Whatever you want.
You're saying the Secret Society, the Eyes Wide Shut crew.
Yeah.
Are you saying they're more elite than the elite squad, or is that it's like a wild card?
Apples and oranges, Yeah.
And they're no higher than 83? Like it's not like suddenly there's a level 89 or some shit?
They're no higher than, I think, 81.
Okay.
Let's head over, Josh. We'll reveal who Josh decided to battle when we finish, and we'll also reveal who the winner of the battle is that's going to take on Tony. So we will see you in just a moment, bug catchers.
After round 1, fight. Joan lives to see another day.
You took on the Secret Society.
I did.
And
I couldn't resist.
They peeled off quite a few of your Pokemon, honestly. You only have 2 Pokemon left, and your Delphox is in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, 23% health left, and then Heliolisk did not enter the battle.
Shall I reveal now who you took on to the bug catchers?
Tell him.
Frogger, Greninja, level 81. Dylan, Garchomp, level 80, who has the Garchompite. We saw a battle of titans between Mega Evolved Venusaur and Mega Evolved Garchomp during our fight.
Big boy fight. Also, Mega Garchomp looked pretty good, actually, in Saitu.
Looks good.
Even though it is just Garchomp with more claws and teeth and shit.
Dr. Rachel, Aegislash, who I've been kind of quietly leveling in the background so that you wouldn't know that I had a Steel Ghost, but it didn't matter because you beat me anyway.
It put up a good fight, though.
Yeah. Tough little mom.
It's still hard to, because this is the first time I've encountered it in these games, figuring out the blade form and what's going to actually work. And I was very worried for a second that it would have levitate when I was trying to drop Earthquake on it.
No, it's got stance. That stance change is its ability.
Yeah, that's what I was betting was the case.
It didn't get a chance to use it against you, and I didn't expect it to get a chance to use it against you, but its moveset it has a thing called Iron Defense, which raises its defense rating by two levels, which is pretty good. It's like the equivalent of Sword Stance, but on the defense side.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then he's got a move called Power Trick, where it switches his buffs to his defense and his offense. So he sits and builds up a nice little cushion of defense for a couple turns, and then power switches and has like a super overpowered attack stat, which then I just use Iron Head or Sacred Sword to knock out most things in one hit.
Got some tricky mon this time around.
Yeah, man, I'm a Pokemon expert now. I'm like a
that's
pro Pokemon player now, and you're the lore master now. So, and then the final 3 Pokemon on Lovemaker's 69 Secret Society, Josh. Jungle Josh, Simi Sage, 81. Drippy Josh, Simi Poor, level 80. Hot Josh, Simi Seer, level 81.
The icons.
The Simi monkeys.
They finally got their moment in the spotlight.
Yeah, they look terrible.
They really do.
The Simi monkeys, you did not have as much trouble with compared to the other three.
I mean, it was also like the last two Mon were the Simi Poor and the Simi Sage, both of which on my team, I still had Delphox and Heliolisk. So I had the direct counters just sitting around.
Yeah.
But it was Dragalge that took out Simi Poor, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a slugfest of like Sludge Bomb versus... What were you doing?
It was...
Because you burned me.
Oh, Scald. I burned you with Scald,
that's
and then
right.
I was trying to brine you, which does double damage if you're under 50% health.
Yeah.
So 130, but it wasn't working very well.
That was fun. We had the Draco Meteor exchange between Garchomp and Dragalge as well.
Yeah, that was fun.
Tony, any thoughts?
I loved watching it. I was attracted to the monkeys.
And now you know all of our tricks.
I'm glad I got to trot him out. Thank you, Joshua, for indulging me, even though I lost.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Couldn't resist.
All right, we will kick it over to Tony versus Joshua now. Now Tony knows all of Joshua's nasty little tricks, except his Heliolisk.
And I will say that Heliolisk has a new moveset.
Ooh.
That was why I didn't want to bring it out.
Well, I'm very excited for this one. Joshua, challenge me.
All right, round 2. Fight.
That was a really fun match.
We lost the IP again.
Josh got lost in a gay neighborhood, a gay area for a while. Got sidetracked.
Yeah.
That Snorlax really held you up.
Yeah, and I made a pretty stupid move of putting my Dragalge out against your Delphox that I have no comment on why I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
Well, it was paralyzed, and I thought I would be able to use Surf to kill you, and it just didn't do enough damage. And then I just brought out Heliolisk and did the move I should have done, which was Rain Dance, and then Surf.
But it was too little too late, Joshua. Tony beat you with 2 Mon left on the team.
I got a lot of value out of the Butterfree, and I was really happy with that.
Yeah, Butterfree killed off Halucha.
So we lost the show.
Yeah.
It was a really good match. I'm in love with Tony's Snorlax. Had all the right moves.
Yeah, good ability with immunity.
And rest plus sleep talk.
It's really the one thing, and I didn't know that you were going to run that Togekiss, Josh, but it's the one thing that
I thought that
Togekiss
would be my ringer.
struggles with is something that can like rest and sleep talk, because it just gets to say like no to the paralysis.
Right.
Wow. Well, at this point, honestly, I'm pretty used to not having the IP.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit better without it. I don't think I'm responsible enough to really manage it. So enjoy, Tony. Just treat it right. Give it the time and attention it deserves.
Thank you. It's just going to be the pervy deviant dart of the Pokemon now.
I mean, it's already mostly that.
Pretty sure that's what Alex Bug wanted to do with it too, so that's fine.
Why gay people just want to fuck the Pokemon? What's with us?
Tony, everyone wants to fuck the Pokemon. That's the whole point of the show.
We had breakfast in London, first of all, like friends because of your podcast, but like we had breakfast in London, and all we could talk about, just salivating like cartoon wolves, was how hot the Pokemon are.
Awooga.
Yeah, you and Alex Bug met up, which to be a fly on that wall, huh?
Oh, it was, I mean, yeah.
I guess I'm friends with both of you. I could just invite myself to a drink with you guys sometime if we ever happen to find ourselves in London. I don't have to be a fly on the wall.
I think the 4 of us doing drinks would be like a really beautiful thing that would happen. And, maybe there's microphones out. Maybe I'm just surreptitiously recording it for my own secret podcast. Who knows?
Yeah. Anthony Smith, where can people find you on the internet? Do you have any new projects? What's going on with you?
Yeah, what are you working on?
I've been so busy with work that I actually don't really have any new projects, but there's some fun stuff coming that will be announced on any of the places that you can find me. And those are my Twitter at Anthony B.L. Smith. That's B as in boy, L as in L boy. And my
Bud Light?
Instagram.
Bud Light?
Oh yeah, no, Anthony Bud Light Smith, named after the one of the many beers that's a little bit too strong for me. And my other account is on Instagram at Anthony Brian Smith. That's Brian with an I, because there are people that spell Brian with a Y to cheat at Scrabble.
Freaks.
Yeah.
Yuck. Josh, thank you for joining me. Bugcatchers, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, and thank you for joining us, Tony.
Oh,
This has been Experience Share. It's Pokemon Podcast. My name has been Tyrannotrum, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Aegislosh, and we were very happy to have Tony back. We were very happy to have Tony Flame back once again.
Well, I'm depressed.
And we're looking
now.
forward to seeing you in the Elite Four. And back, what was the name of the region in Ruby Sapphire?
Hoenn.
The Hoenn region. Oh, you're a Hoenn-Ho, right? Or is that what they're called?
I like how.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hoenn around. Yeah.
But until then, please do rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, and do follow the show everywhere that you follow podcasts, and do follow us at EXBSharePod on Twitter and Instagram.
And check out our subreddit, reddit.com/r/bugcatchers, which is where we will soon know who the trainer of the season is, who can come on and beat us.
Yeah. One more episode where we're going to be chasing waterfalls next week. So one more week to kind of hone in on that. I guess if you wanted to join the community this late in the season and try to get trainer
I don't even
of
think
the
that's
week
possible.
12 times in a row.
There's a leaderboard. You can go and scout it out. But you should join either way. There's a lot of fun to be had in there. And you can also go to expsharemerch.com to pick up some sweet duds.
Can I just say, if you are sort of late to the season, you're not on the leaderboard yet, let me know and I will lobby for you, because while I am quite busy these days, there's always time to interfere with an election, and I would love to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's the,
Mayor cheat.
it's the liberal way. It's what we do. We interfere with elections. Next week, we are chasing waterfalls, and we will have our iconic Chasing Waterfalls guest back, of course, as well.
David Sims.
David Sims will be joining us. So look forward to that. Bugcatchers, Tony, Josh, goodbye.
See you later.
Tony Flame off.